Hello to all my friends out there. So this video is why the hell are you so cheap? So what happened was, it was a long time ago now, one of my friends asked me, Ruthie, why the hell are you so cheap? And I really didn't know. I said, I don't know, maybe it's hereditary. One of my aunts, on my dad's side, they were very thrifty. In the day, a long time ago, if you weren't thrifty, it was considered next to a sin. It wasn't quite a sin, but it was kind of next to a sin. So because you were not a good steward to your money. So everybody was thrifty, right? So I said, I think it's hereditary. But when I thought about it, I thought, well, there's reasons. One, if you are extremely thrifty, you will not run out of the things you need, like food, like gas, like diapers, like formula. So anyway, if you are very thrifty, you will not run out of the things that you need. Okay, I was a self-employed hairdresser, and your product cost was supposed to be 12.5% at the time. And so I would not spend a penny over that, because if you did, you were putting yourself out of business. And you weren't going to stay in the red, and you'd be working and you wouldn't be making any money. So part of it was to do with the job I did. Okay, and then early on in my hairdressing career, I ran into this guy, and his entire job was to find everything at the cheapest possible price that these rich people needed, whether it was toilet paper, whatever, and to make sure all the interest paid into them was the highest possible, and all the money paid out was the lowest possible. And I thought, wow, we could do that for ourselves as well. Okay, then there's the challenge of doing things. Oh, and I missed that. Coffee creamer up bad. It's 1 cup milk, 1/3 cup coffee creamer, and you have to heat the water. So, there's a lot of people who are really cheap. It's the challenge of finding the best deal on the car, of getting the best shoes for the money, stuff like that. There is that element of, it's a challenge to try to get, the most for your money. Then another thing is, if you reduce the amount of money needed for basic survival, then you're freeing up more money for other things, whatever those other things might be, vacations, whatever. So there's that aspect of it too, is that in order to survive, you need very little money, and you're safer when you're that way. Another thing is finding good stuff cheap. Like at times, I can find some really nice luxury items in thrift stores really cheap. To combat, number 6, combat the rising cost of living. So if you're very, very cheap all the time and the prices go up, you just find more ways to be cheap. And so you are combating, like if you're in a battle, you're battling. Okay, now I want to mention some of the cheapest, over-the-top, cheapest stuff ever. Cheapest stuff ever. Okay, one thing, if any of you know about Hare Krishnas in the day, you eat with your right hand, you wipe with your left. That's over the top cheap. Okay, a dumpster diving, that's pretty much over the top cheap too. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I've done some of it myself, but that is over the top cheap. When I was working in the salon, one of the women, her friend showed up every single night at their house for dinner. Now that's cheap. How about this? Staying with friends or relatives, like sleeping on the couch and never paying rent yourself. Living in cars, that's very cheap. Okay, I knew someone, and her husband, he went to Hawaii I think he had this in his mind for a long time. He bought 7 cans of food. Everything was in 7. He had 7 clothes. He would take a bath at the beach, and he lived in his car. That was pretty cheap. And then he would do the couch thing, until people would get really fed up with him. He kept it up, and he saved all the money at his job. In fact, he found a job where they would let him park in back of the place. Okay, taking a bath at a gym membership. And then this is the one I do, the last, eating inexpensive food. Like tonight, I think that was some of the most inexpensive food that is imaginable. But was I suffering? No, I wasn't suffering one single bit. I won't suffer if I eat hot dogs. I won't suffer if I eat eggs. I won't suffer if I eat bacon. I will be fine. So, okay, you guys, and if you have a video, if you guys have really good comments, like the 2 good comments by Henzo, that was the 10 meals, or Make It Enough, do a video and then tell us so we can watch the video. Or if you have comments or really cheap things to do, those would be appreciated. A like would be appreciated, and God bless you all.